I will use Texas Instruments calculators to do my instruction. I really prefer them from the beginning, the way they wisely develop their products. Their calculators are very user-friendly in my opinion. I said, I'm waiting for this golden calculator. It's awesome. But a lot of times I'll just grab the closest calculator to me, like a TI-83, and a person can save a lot of money by getting a used TI-83 or even a new one to work with. And so what I'll do is I'm going to instruct on the TI-84 Plus, but in the videos I will say, hey, if you got one of the older calculators, type it in this way. So let's look and see how the calculator can give us the statistics for any set of data. If in doubt, when you're in a statistics class and you're wondering where should I go on the calculator, check out that stat button. That's usually where we want to go, and indeed that's what we want to do right here. We go stat. We have three menus: the edit, the calc, and the test. So we have to put data into the calculator, so we're going to use edit first, and we just type in a 1 for edit. Now I've got stuff in my list 1 that I want to get rid of, so I can get my cursor on top of list 1 and just hit the clear button and enter. So I'm going to enter the data from the click-through return rate on a web advertisement for a company. You can watch the video on more standard deviation and variance to familiarize yourself with that data. So all I'm doing is I'm just adding each score, or in this case each percentage, for a week of click-through data. What percentage of people saw the advertisement and click through it to go to the website to get more information. Now what we do is we say, okay, I want to calculate the standard deviation, the mean, things like that. So we hit stat again. Now that we've edited our data, we now can look to the second menu, which is calc, when we want to calculate something. So hit the right arrow to get to calc, and the very first option is one variable statistics, one bar stats. So we're going to type in a 1 and go in there. Now on the newer calculators, it's nice. They say, okay, what's your list? What's your frequency list? I'm going to leave that blank for right now, the frequency list. Just enter that and then go to calculate, and boom, it will give us all of our information. X bar is the sample mean. There's two standard deviations. We'll learn more about that if we don't already, S sub x and sigma sub x. And then if we want the interquartile range in the 5-number summary, we just hit the down arrow and we've got the 5-number summary. So in the older calculator, much is done the same way. I want to go to stat and I want to edit my data just like before. Type in 1. I already entered the first 5 numbers. Let me just type in the last one, 5.9. Hit enter. And now again, we want to go stat and calculate something. So we'll go stat and then to the calc menu, right arrow. And same thing, 1 bar stats, we type in a 1. Here's where it gets different. You have to tell it list 1. List 1 is a secondary function right above the 1 key. And so I go secondary function and then type in the 1 key. That will give me list 1. Now I hit enter and I've got my results, and again I can scroll down for the 5-number summary. Now let's go back. What if we had data like this, and let's just suppose we had multiple weeks where we had the same click-through rate. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into edit. So we're going to stat and hit edit, and now we're going to create a second list where we had 3 weeks of this. So this will give us the frequency of the number of times that we got each of these results back over here. Got 2 of these, 1 of these, 2 of these, 1 of these, and 2 of these. So now we have information in 2 lists. Well, we still want our 1 variable stats. The variable of interest is list 1. List 2 is just a frequency list. So we go to stat and we go to the calc menu, and it's like, hey calculator, give us the 1 bar stats. Now here's where it gets a little different. List 1 is our variable of interest. Frequency list, this gives you the option to type in a list for which you have frequencies or probabilities, you'll see later. So we're going to tell it list 2. So we go secondary function, hit button 2, right above it is list 2. So we say officially this is second L2. And so now we've given the calculator all the information that it needs. And you can see n is now 11, that it considered all the frequencies of how often each of those scores occurred. Once again, going to the older calculator can do the same type of thing. You can just go second, just go stats, and then into the lists. Now I'm going to go to list 2, and I'm going to type in the same kind of data. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And now I'm going to go stat and over to calc and 1 bar stats, and here's where again you got to be on your toes with the older ones. So 1 bar stats, now what we do is we want to type in second L1 to tell it this is the variable of interest, but now put a comma in between. The comma is its own key right above the 7. And now we're going to tell it list 2 is where the frequency is. So second L2. So there it is. We've given the same information to the calculator that the new SPIFFY one asked for, and we hit enter, and we're going to get the same results.